Hello and welcome to Anjan Kumar India, and I am N. Anjan Kumar. In our previous episodes, we were doing a tour of my bookshelf, a tour of autobiographies, and we started with spiritual autobiographies. Now that we have finished spiritual autobiographies, from today onwards, we will take up autobiographies of personalities from India and Indian subcontinent. And before we go further, a small request to you: if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, YouTube channel, please do subscribe. It just takes a moment for you, but it helps me a lot. Please do subscribe. In our last episode, we ended with Mahatma Gandhi's autobiography. I have purposefully put that in spiritual autobiographies because he was more of a spiritual person rather than a politician. So he was called a political saint. So today we will start with one of his foremost disciples, a Karma Yogi, you can say, who is none other than Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. This again is called an autobiography. As we know, Jawaharlal Nehru was a freedom fighter and he was the independent India's first Prime Minister. And he was there for 3 terms, I think. Longest serving Prime Minister and a very successful Prime Minister. This book was written in jail. Entire book was written in jail over a period of 9 months. He didn't have any reference material. Just out of his memory he was writing. And during 1934-35 he was writing, and all of a sudden he was released from jail. Once he was released, immediately he jumped into the active politics, that is final freedom struggle. And this book was published in 1936, and ever since this has become a very popular book. It became an instant hit. Even today it's a most sought after book. So I have read this book, very nice book. I feel like reading it again. You can read it from different point of view, like history, biographies, English language also. English is very good, and this has been translated into many languages. In Kannada also it's been translated. Jawaharlal Nehru Atmakathe. I feel every educated Indian should read this book. So I strongly recommend everybody to read this book, and if possible, keep it in their house along with Mahatma Gandhi's autobiography. So that was Nehru's autobiography, an autobiography. And the second one, again a freedom fighter, Rajendra Prasad, an autobiography. Again, Rajendra Prasad was a freedom fighter, and he was independent India's first president. He served for 2 terms. And this book again, it was written in jail between 1942 to 1945 and published in 1957, that is after independence. I have not yet read this book, so it's a very bulky book, lot of stories in this, many of them of historical importance. Originally this book was in Hindi, then it was translated into English by Dr. Rajendra Prasad himself. So hope to read it sometime soon. An autobiography by Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Our third book today is India Wins Freedom by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. So this again is an autobiography by a freedom fighter. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was independent India's first education minister. He was very highly educated and a very learned person. This book was narrated between 1956 and 58, and it was recorded by one Mr. Humayun Kabir, and it covers an eventful period between 1935 to 1948. At that time, India was in the final stages of freedom struggle and the granting of freedom itself, Mahatma Gandhi's assassination and the aftermath. And it also gives details about his checkered relationships with Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and his differences with Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru. I have not read this book. Actually, this book was published in 1959. There is something interesting about the publication of this book. When this book was about to be published, Azad sir told a certain portion of the book to be held back and to be published only after 30 years. Maybe he didn't want to hurt the feelings of certain people, maybe his friends and contemporaries. That 30-year period came to pass in 1988. I very well remember that date. It made some news during that time. But there was nothing revealing or sensational about the missing portions. So it was included and published after 1988. I have not yet read this book. I will purchase the latest edition and read once for all. So regarding this book, it said it will provide a compelling and unputdownable read. So let me purchase that new one and read it. This I will just keep it for record so that I can tell this story, 30-year story. So that was fourth book is Baba Saheb, My Life with Dr. Ambedkar by Savita Ambedkar. Autobiography of Savita Ambedkar. But this gives more details about Dr. Ambedkar and his work. This book first it was published in 1990 in Marathi, Dr. Ambedkaranच्या Sahawasat. Later it got translated into English and it was published by Dr. Nadim Khan. He was the translator. And Dr. Ambedkar, around 1947, when India got independent, he was suffering from so many diseases, life-threatening diseases. And Dr. Savita, at that time she was known as Dr. Sharda Kabir. So she was one of the doctors looking after Ambedkar. During that time, Ambedkar proposed to her. He was a widower. First wife was Rama Devi, Rama Bai, and they got married in 1948. So from that date onwards, from 1948 to 1956, when Baba Saheb passed away, she was helping him in all his monumental work in the service of the country. And soon after his passing, unfortunately, followers of Ambedkar, some followers, founded her and she withdrew herself from public life. And she came back to public life only in 1970 and continued with the work which was very dear to Dr. Ambedkar. This book, I don't know whether it's translated to other languages, but it got translated into Kannada, Dr. Ambedkar Sahavasadalli by Anila Vasamani. So I have not yet read it completely. I completed some 66 pages. It is very nice. You can see the letters written to Savita Ambedkar when they before marriage. It was just like a typical letter, a lover, and how he selects the ring. So many very, what you can say, interesting things. Regarding this book, historian Ramchandra Guha says, this book humanizes Ambedkar as no other book has done, and it gives details about other things also. When not yet read it, I will finish it soon. And I feel this is a must for Ambedkarites and followers of Ambedkar and people in the public in general. So that is Baba Saheb, My Life with Dr. Ambedkar. Our fifth book is Dr. Karan Singh's Autobiography. This is the book. I was very curious about Dr. Karan Singh because many years back I saw an interview on the Doordarshan with Dr. Karan Singh. He was a witness to very crucial meetings, happenings with relation to Jammu and Kashmir. and he led a very interesting public life, very interesting and very important. So I was very much curious, so that's why I bought this book. I read this book recently, very nice book. Dr. Karan Singh, he was born in 1931. Now he is 90 plus, and he was heir to princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. And at a very young age of 18, he becomes a regent, and soon he becomes head of the Jammu and Kashmir state, Sadari Riyasat, and becomes MP, and he remains MP for almost 18 years. And he becomes the youngest cabinet minister, and he holds many important portfolios. And he is very highly educated and learned person. He gives lectures both in India and abroad about Indian culture and philosophy. He is a thinker and statesman of modern India. So, very highly interesting, educative and enjoyable. And recently I saw an interview, very recently, on YouTube by Kapil Sibal, former law minister. It is in Hindi, but very interesting, very educative type. So I have given that link of that YouTube interview in the description. If you are interested, please do watch it. So with that, we come to the end of today's episode. So these are all political autobiographies. We still have very interesting characters, that is politicians, public figures, sports persons, authors, literary figures, and activists. So many type of people are there. So these are all political personalities. So if you are getting bored, bear with me. We will come up with other personalities which may be of interest to you. There are a lot of sports persons and successful business people also. And Kannada autobiographies are there, Atmakathegalu. So expect some good, interesting books in this bookshelf tour. So once again I request you to subscribe to my channel if you have not yet done so. So with that we come to the end of this episode. Please keep visiting my YouTube channel, and thank you for spending time with me. Take care. Bye bye.